You know, having a young core in the NBA is so great. I mean, not only does having a young core make you a good team for right now, but it probably makes you potential contenders and a potential dynasty down the road. In this video, we will go over the top 5 young cores in the NBA. But before we get into it, let me tell you about my criteria on this. So my criteria is a combination of already young established talent, somebody like Jason Tatum or Zion Williamson, but talent that also has to do with potential. Ja Morant is not a top 20 player, but he definitely has a potential to be that high and even higher. So he would be considered a great young piece. That's obvious. But not only that, I also value younger pieces. If you're 22, you're more of a young core player than somebody that's 25. Without further ado though, let's get straight into it. At number 5, we have the Phoenix Suns. Now their 3 best young players right now are Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Mikal Bridges. And it makes sense why. Mikal Bridges is one of the best 3-and-D players in the league, and he's improved a lot on shot creation and a lot on defense too, even though he was already a really good defender. Then we have DeAndre Ayton. Looks like he has star potential. Defensively, he was great in the playoffs. Besides against the Bucks, Giannis made him look like food, but again, Giannis is a 2-time MVP, so you would expect him to manipulate DeAndre Ayton, who's a very young center. And not only that, they have Devin Booker. Now, why they edge out teams like the Mavs and the Thunder to me is that, yeah, Luka has the potential to be the best player in the league, and he might be the best player in the league in like a couple years. But Luka is the only thing on that young core. Not only do I want superstar potential on their team, but I also want depth. Who is their next best young player? It's Tyrell Terry? Shut up. All right, now let's get into number 4. The Atlanta Hawks. Now their young core is so high to me because of the amount of depth that they have in it. First of all, yeah, you have a guy with superstar potential in Trae Young, who is an amazing and all-time great already playmaker for his position and also passer. But anyway, Trae is a generational passer. Not only that, his talent around him is young and is really good. John Collins is an example. They just extended him. John Collins is the perfect teammate next to Trae Young. He can catch lobs, shoot threes, improving on the mid-range game. The only thing that is not his strength is defense. They're bringing back Clint Capella, who didn't have a DPOY level season, but in the playoffs, man, his impact was ridiculous. He anchored that defense to another level. There are other good, players that can be really good high-level tier role players, like a Kevin Huerter, a Cam Reddish, a DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter's been showing it the most out of those 3, but they just have great potential. And they also picked up my favorite player in the draft, Jalen Johnson, man. I hope Jalen Johnson has an amazing year this season because I would love to make multiple videos on him. He's a forward that can shoot, play defense, is athletic. He's everything you need in a modern day power forward. All right, now the number 3 place is the Memphis Grizzlies. I think this is pretty obvious. Ja Morant is not better than Trae Young, but I think they have more star potential with their young players. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. can be like one of the top power forwards in the league or centers or whatever. The thing is that he's a really good shot blocker and he's also a really good 3-point shooter for his position. To have a playmaking point guard that is not a good shooter like Ja Morant and then put him next to a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr. who can shoot and play great defense, 2 things that Ja Morant isn't good at right now, that is beautiful. So I think he can be a star level player, and Ja Morant to me can be a superstar level player. Now I can think he can be an improved version of prime Russell Westbrook. Besides all that, they also have Brandon Clark, which is a really good 3-and-D player. I mean, he also showed a lot of promise as an athletic player, whether that be defense or catching lobs. Brandon Clark is a very interesting role player because he can do so many things. Very versatile. Alrighty, and then at number 2, we have the Pelicans. We know why they're here, and most of the reason why they're here is Zion Williamson. To me, Zion Williamson kind of has that Luka impact. I think he can be the best player on the championship team and the best player in the world. But the one thing that will restrict him from that is not getting enough help. We know this Pelicans team, youth-wise, is beautiful. I mean, they have Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and that's basically all you need. But they also have Jackson Hayes and Josh Hart, who are 2 very nice role players for their age. But yeah, Zion has superstar potential, and his potential is amazing. He's going to be an all-time great finisher. He's been amazing on finishing this season. He's improved as a passer and a playmaker. That outside shot is not something that he has, but it's not something that he needs. He is such a good shot creator for himself in the paint. I don't know how he does it, but I would say that he is like the most skilled finisher between him, Giannis, and AD when it comes to skill around the basket. That's the way. I don't understand how he gets it up, but he gets some nice ass layups in because his control of the body and his control of the ball while he's in the air is amazing. Then at number 1 for a young core, maybe not a young core, but they have the best talent for show, and this is the Celtics. Now, I do think that the Pelicans' young core will be better than the Celtics because I think Zion will be better than Tatum, but let's not work off hypotheticals right now. Tatum is better than Zion. So, the Celtics, besides Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Robert Williams, who is their young core? Well, nobody. They have Peyton Pritchard, Aaron Nesmith, Romeo Langford, Grant Williams, if you count that motherfucker. So they don't have much depth on their young core right now, but they have 2 of the most impactful things in the most impactful positions in this sport. Right now, 2-way, great defensive and great offensive wings are so great. They're so great. Let's look at the last Finals MVPs. Kevin Durant, definitely a 2-way wing. That motherfucker could shoot the lights out and was playing great defense when he was in Golden State. Kawhi Leonard, do I need to explain myself? He was like the greatest 3-and-D player of all time in 2016. And also in 2014 with that San Antonio run, he clamped up an opposing wing so well. Well, not clamped him up, but gave him problems so well that they won the championship, and star power did not win the championship that year. LeBron James. I mean, he's won 4 Finals MVPs. What is there not to say about LeBron James? He's the best 2-way wing of all time, unless you consider Michael Jordan a wing, which he is a wing. But LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard are all 2-way wings that have won championships, and one of the better duos in the league right now is Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. 2 great defensive wings. Boston has that to them. With 2 defensive wings, you can build around them any way you need to. Like, if you have a great point guard, he's going to be ball dominant. If you have a great center, I mean, you're not going to shoot as many threes. But with great 2-way wings, you have so much flexibility in that you can get a playmaking point guard or a scoring point guard. Because in the end of the day, they will figure it out. 2-way wings are the most flexible superstars to build around in the NBA right now and probably since ever. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, all great 2-way wings. They were so easy to build around in the fact that they were so versatile and great in their roles. And Boston has 2 of them. An all-star level 2-way wing in Jaylen Brown, and a superstar level, not to the superstar level yet, but a superstar level wing in Jason Tatum. They've both been improving on the 3-point shooting a lot, both improving on defense a lot, both improving as passers, even though Jaylen Brown is not an amazing passer. And then they've also improved with their shot selection. So yeah, y'all, that is my top 5 young cores in the NBA. Like I said, the Mavs and the Thunder are snubbed because their lack of depth and or their unreliability to put out a superstar.
Gave her back, they were boring and I do not be with that, smoking on this tree I eat with the cat, it be around me cause I don't trust a soul.